Greetings fellow gamers, it's time for another video showcasing 12 upcoming indie Metroidvania games you probably haven't heard of, expected to release sometime in 2026 or later. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Prepare to explore a vast, mystical world in Akatori, a Metroidvania that places you in the role of Mako, a young monk who must travel across 5 realms in order to save them from a mysterious and destructive phenomenon known as the Amber Storms. To do that, Mako will have to make full use of her staff, a magical weapon housing the soul of an enigmatic bird, whose power allows the transformation of the armament to different helpful forms that are aimed both toward combat as well as exploration. Akatori promises fast-paced battles and exciting platforming segments, all of them transpiring across biomes that boast unique challenges and story threads. Akatori has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC, PS5, Nintendo Switch, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. Next comes Amalu, Wells Between Worlds, a Metroidvania inspired by North African mythology. Follow a young shepherd named Amir as he travels across a sprawling, mystical realm in search of the root of a curse that has been drying wells all around his world. His journey will bring him face to face with legendary creatures, which he will have to confront using his newfound magic, all the while learning more and more about his own heritage as a well keeper. Amalu is very narrative driven, with the game's world and story being shaped by glyphs, sigils, and symbolic systems influenced by the Amazigh tradition practiced by the indigenous people of North Africa. To that end, it also favors knowledge over force, with the vast majority of obstacles and puzzles you'll come across requiring ingenuity to solve. Amalu Wells Between Worlds did suffer from a recent failed Kickstarter which may influence its release window, but as of now, it is expected to come out sometime during the third quarter of 2026 and has been confirmed for PC. Following, we have Silver Pines. Private investigator Red Walker is about to experience a living nightmare when he takes a job that leads him to the small town of Silver Pines in search of a missing musician. With very limited leads at his disposal, he begins exploring, in the process uncovering a web of mystery and betrayal that has resulted in the infestation of Silver Pines by inhuman creatures. The game strongly borrows elements from the survival horror genre, incorporating frequent puzzle-solving instances as well as efficient inventory management of your resources if you want to stay alive. Featuring horrific combat against nightmarish abominations, Twin Peaks-inspired characters, moody visuals, and fully voiced graphic novel cutscenes, Silver Pines quickly became one of the games sitting very high on my most anticipated Metroidvanias list. I actually featured Silver Pines in one of my past lists, but it recently got a new trailer alongside some additional platforms of availability and release date window, so I figured it deserved an encore. Silver Pines is expected to release sometime in 2026 and has been confirmed for PC, PS5, Nintendo Switch, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. Momogatari is a hand-drawn Metroidvania game that features frenetic combat and influences from Japanese folklore. The game puts you in the shoes of Momotaro, a swordsman who embarks on a descent into Yomi, a realm of gods, spirits, and forgotten legends, in search of a way to lift a curse from his mother. His journey won't be easy, since this dark world is prowled by demonic creatures known as yokai, and they won't let him advance without a fight. Thankfully, Momotaro is in possession of a legendary sword that can change its nature on a whim, allowing you to adapt your combat approach based on your battle style of choice. Featuring a vast interconnected world to explore, epic boss fights as well as tight combat and platforming, Momogatari looks like a title to keep an eye on. This is another game that I featured on my channel in the past, this time about 3 years ago, but it recently got a new trailer, some added information on release platforms and the release date window, and it also launched its Kickstarter, which I will link in the description below for those interested in supporting it, all of which warrant an additional shout out. Momogatari is expected to come out sometime in the last quarter of 2026 and has been confirmed for PC, with further plans for PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch consoles if the Kickstarter hits its stretch goals. Rabbit's Tale is a charming Metroidvania with roguelite elements. Here you'll take on the role of the titular anthropomorphic rabbit, who embarks on a quest against the group known as the Steam Order after their army of soulless steam machines and cold-hearted minions decimated his village and abducted his family and friends. The game features classic side-scrolling gameplay with fighting and exploration taking place across a vast, interconnected world filled with secrets to discover and beautiful landscapes to traverse as you fight your way closer to your goal. The roguelite aspect seems to be related to a realm known as the Purple Void, a procedurally generated dimension that you will be able to visit, where, according to the game's description, defeat is permanent, which I'm not sure how to interpret given the information currently available. Rabbit's Tale is the third game on this list that I have featured in the past, this time all the way back to my first year operating this channel, but I decided to bring it back since it has changed considerably since the first time I presented it, and has also added new release information, thus an encore. Rabbit's Tale is expected to come out sometime in 2026, and has been confirmed for PC, Nintendo Switch, as well as PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Nimillion: The Last Expedition is one of those games that tries to do something new with the Metroidvania genre, which is always a wager to make, but also something I consistently appreciate. Boasting an extensive physics-based foundation, the game has you piloting a spaceship whose thrusters are your main mode of traversal. Now, while that sounds reasonable, it is the game's aforementioned physics-based nature that makes things challenging, since you'll have to navigate some incredibly intricate hazard-infested areas where one wrong move could prove costly. Movement is complemented by a variety of additional tools such as a grappling rope, a protective shield, lasers, and a zero-gravity mode, all of which open up exploration opportunities significantly. Of added special note are the game's exciting boss battles as well as the presence of 3 different difficulty levels, the latter of which will allow you to tailor the challenge to your own preferences. I'll admit I'm unbelievably intrigued by Nimillion's overall concept, and if you feel like it's something that could interest you, there is a demo currently available for you to try the game out and make an informed decision. Nimillion: The Last Expedition is expected to come out on the 14th of April 2026 and has been confirmed for PC.
Hello, my name's Sol. This is Frida and Mona.
Here's our goal. Stopping the Union spell for good.
You are not exactly putting us in a positive light here, Mona.
How about landing an arrow between your eyes?
Transpiring in a beautifully hand-drawn fantasy world, Sunken Sky thrusts you into the lives of 3 different girls who wish to traverse its kingdoms, each for their own purposes. The game is quite combat-oriented, with each one of the protagonists boasting her own unique battle approach, which you can utilize at will since switching between the characters happens instantaneously, effectively bringing a tactical element into the mix. Sunken Sky borrows elements from the JRPG genre, including what appears to be an equipment system as well as the possibility to utilize consumable items, though these aspects haven't been fully verified yet. Of special note are the numerous minigames you'll be able to engage with, which add an extra layer of lightheartedness to the adventure as well as a welcome opportunity for novel entertainment. Sunken Sky is expected to come out sometime in March of 2026 and has been confirmed for PC. Ever heard of Elizabeth Bathory, one of the most infamous historical figures of all time? Well, get ready to try and save her in Blade of Mercy Bloody Countess, a Metroidvania in which dear old Lizzie is reimagined as a noble falsely accused of vampirism and entombed alive, forcing her younger sister Sophia to go to her aid in an effort to both rescue her as well as restore honor to their family name. The game places immense weight on visceral combat, with Sophia having a significant array of weapons at her her disposal, both of the melee as well as ranged variety, all of which will be necessary in order for her to survive this twisted vision of 16th century Hungary, which combines folklore with the brutal reality of the time. A very amusing aspect of the game is the use of beer in order to restore health, which can lead to intoxication that you'll have to fight off by consuming goulash. I have to say there's something both foreboding and appealing about the game's presentation, which makes it an interesting title to keep an eye on. Blade of Mercy Bloody Countess is expected to come out sometime in 2026 and has been confirmed for PC. To say that I'm a fan of Halloween-themed games would be an understatement, so it is only natural that Pumpkin and Patch, a Metroidvania about All Hallows Eve, intrigues me. You are Patch, an abandoned, one-eyed dog that's looking for a new family, and you'll have to travel through the hallowed lands to find it, a realm filled with all kinds of things that go bump in the night. Thankfully, you're not alone on your journey, since Pumpkin, a sentient gourd, is here to help you achieve your goals. Do not let the game's charming visuals fool you. There's actually a lot of gameplay depth to be found here. For starters, Pumpkin and Patch takes a predominantly ranged approach to combat, but also features a parry system which can deflect projectiles, stun melee attackers, and also restore health, making it a truly tactical move. There are also numerous upgrades that influence the way you fight and traverse the world, including the ability to freeze water and create platforms that you can then manage with momentum created by ranged attacks, as well as Pumpkin's Lamplight ability, which allows you to reveal secrets. Pumpkin and Patch is expected to come out sometime in October of 2026 and has been confirmed for PC.
In the name of His Most Royal Majesty.
It's been 84 years since we last got a new entry in the Castlevania series, but just when all hope was almost lost, Konami decided to grace us with Castlevania Belmont's Curse, and thus, the Vania part of our beloved genre is back. I mean, let's face it, I doubt anyone watching this video is unaware of this game by now, but I still wanted to feature it for inclusivity's sake, since it was recently unveiled. Taking place in Paris at the very end of the 1400s, the game follows an as of yet unnamed female Belmont as she goes on the hunt after the emergence of unholy abominations across the city. Armed with the iconic whip known as Vampire Killer, our young warrior will have to fight her way through the capital in order to reach the fabled castle that looms in the distance, and face the ancient foe lying in wait within. The whip will not be your only means of disposing your enemies, with an assortment of additional armaments being available for you to utilize, thus giving combat some welcome variety. The game boasts numerous trap-filled areas you'll have to brave, meaning platforming will also get its chance to shine. As someone whose first contact with the Metroidvania genre was Symphony of the Night, I cannot overstate how excited I am about Belmont's Curse, which is going to be a definite day one purchase for me. Castlevania Belmont's Curse is expected to come out sometime in 2026 and has been confirmed for PC, PS5, Nintendo Switch, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. Nearing the finale, we have Mona, the Endless Journey. Brandish the pillow of a child that has accidentally fallen deep into a nightmarish world. In the company of a mysterious other girl named Mona, who bears a striking resemblance to her and can control time and space, our young protagonist embarks on a perilous quest to find her way home, in the process learning how to work together with her enigmatic ally in order to survive. The pillow is more than just a prop and actually functions both as a shield against enemy attacks, but also as an armament to take said foes down. Mona herself is more than just a narrative tool, since she has her own ways of destroying enemies, which you can use at any time by switching between the two girls on the fly. Combat is further complemented by badges, which are equipable trinkets that you can mix and match in order to create unique battle moves tailored to your own gameplay preferences. Platforming and puzzle solving are also of essence here, with acrobatic gauntlets and mechanical conundrums requiring your undivided attention dimension in order to be conquered. Mona: The Endless Journey is expected to come out sometime in 2026 and has been confirmed for PC. Once again, it's time for the customary honorable mention segment of the video, with a whopping 3 games that will most likely appeal to Metroidvania fans, and one that is an actual Metroidvania but had to go here since it is already out. Starting with that last one, I think you'll forgive me this once for including a game that is already available, but God of War Sons of Sparta didn't really give me a chance for an upcoming feature since it was shadow dropped a few days ago. The latest game in the hugely popular God of War series, Sons of Sparta acts as a prequel that follows a young Kratos and his brother Deimos as they go on a search for a fellow Spartan cadet that went missing. Sons of Sparta seems to understand that the main foundation of the series is its visceral combat, and wisely decides to focus on that by featuring frenetic battles against a variety of enemies related to ancient Greece, including mythological creatures. It also allows for a cooperative experience of the campaign alongside another player, though this feature is unlocked after completing the story for the first time. Initial reviews of the game praise its visuals, narrative, and exploration, while criticizing its somewhat clunky controls, a fast travel system that is unlocked very late, as well as certain aspects of combat feeling somewhat needlessly complex. I'll definitely be playing this one soon on the PS5, which is the only platform where it's currently available.
This is only the beginning. The moment his wings were revealed, Nosgoth.
I honestly cannot overstate how big of a fan of the Legacy of Kain series I am, so understandably, I've been eagerly awaiting for a proper continuation of the series since 2003, and as it turns out, I just got one. Sort of. As far as I can surmise, the story of Legacy of Kain Ascendance situates itself sometime between Blood Omen and Soul River, and a bit after that as well, as it follows Raziel, Kain, and the very much community-despised Elaleth as they rip and tear their way across Nosgoth. I'm very much uncertain if this is a Metroidvania or simply has Metroidvania elements, but what is certain is that all 3 characters will be playable, including Raziel's fallen form, and that the game is quite combat-oriented, allowing you to chain melee attacks, snappy evasions, and supernatural attacks in a torrent of destruction that will decimate your foes. I'm truly hoping Ascendance does well so that we can finally get a fully fledged sequel to Defiance, but to be honest, this one looks really cool as well, so I'll definitely be giving it a go. Also, could someone please explain to me why Elaleth is such a reviled character? It's an honest question since I haven't read the graphic novels and I'm very curious about the discourse around her. In any case, Legacy of Kain Ascendance is expected to come out on the 31st of March 2026 and has been confirmed for PC, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, as well as Xbox.
Ascendance isn't granted. It is earned with blood.
Our third honorable mention is INARI, an action platformer inspired by titles like Nine Souls, Katana Zero, and Celeste. Transpiring in an Eastern fantasy world, INARI has you brandishing the Blade of Izuna, a master executioner that is sent on a mission to take down a group known as the Seven Daughters due to their defiance of the mighty lord ruling over the land. Combat is the name of the game here, with INARI featuring some of the most hectic and relentless fighting sequences I have seen in the genre. Battles here are fast-paced, allowing you to chain attacks together while instantly repositioning yourself with your teleportation ability, making each bout a magnificent dance of death as you hack and slash your way through legions of enemies. INARI has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC, with potential console releases being under consideration. For our last honorable mention, we have Horn of Balance, an incredibly charming Zelda-like. Your sweet grandmother has been kidnapped by the evil Heimgartner, and it is up to you, a young golem named Linden, to get her back. Horn of Balance seems to be pressing all the right buttons when it comes to its Zelda-like inspirations, featuring 12 massive themed dungeons across 2 sprawling interconnected worlds to explore, more than 100 enemies and traps to overcome, as well as countless secrets to uncover. It also boasts complete non-linearity in its map design, giving way to interesting sequence-breaking instances. If you're looking for a promising game reminiscent of Nintendo's nostalgic franchise, make sure to keep this one in your sights. Horn of Balance is expected to come out sometime during the first quarter of 2027 and has been confirmed for PC. Getting back to our Metroidvania games, our final entry is Skydust, an action Metroidvania game with cyberpunk sensibilities. The story transpires in a futuristic Sao Paulo, one of the last megacities to have survived following the destruction of the moon, a catastrophe that resulted in a world where morality and ethics have been compromised as lunar fallout poisoned the atmosphere. You take on the mantle of a hired blade, a mercenary who takes on a routine job that ends up being way more than he bargained for as he's forced deeper and deeper into the neon-lit city and its encroaching corruption. Needless to say, combat is a fundamental aspect of Skydust, which features incredibly skill-driven skirmishes where each attack must be calculated and fighting styles need to be adapted according to the various different threats that you'll come across. Combat aside, there's also a good deal of side questing you'll be able to undertake by interacting with the numerous unfortunate inhabitants of the city, whom will reward you for your efforts. Skydust is the last game in this list to have been featured on my channel in the past, which I decided to bring back due to its new trailer as well as updated information about its gameplay. Skydust has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC. What did you think of these games? Did you already know about them? Are you planning to try any of them out? Let me know in the comments below and please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'd also appreciate if you could like, share and hype it, since it helps with its visibility. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you wish to find more new games, I have a ton more videos in this series on my channel, so go watch those as well. On a last note, a kind reminder that if you enjoy my content and wish to support the channel, you can do so by donating to my Patreon or my Ko-fi page, the links for which you can find in the video description. Until next time, Soulsborne Seeker out.